Welcome to the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay. This is your positive path for spiritual living.
And so one of the principles here from Unity is that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And I would like to go a step forward and say that the words that we speak and express have the power to create our reality. And I'm going to use the example of one of the co-founders of Unity, Myrtle Fillmore, as an inspiration for this talk. As you have probably heard, Myrtle was diagnosed with tuberculosis, given 3 months to live, when she was introduced to the New Thought movement, and a new idea was introduced to her, that she was a child of God, therefore she was created in the image and likeness of the Creator. Part of her was already perfect, immortal, and eternal. So she decided to do an experiment with herself. She decided that she was going to every day begin to speak to the life of each organ. So she would speak to the life of her heart, to the life of her stomach, to the life of her lungs, on and on. And she would begin to speak powerful words like you are perfect, you are intelligent, you are efficient. And I thought it was interesting that she didn't speak to her flesh, she didn't speak to the organs itself, she spoke to the life of each organ. And I think it's interesting because maybe if she would speaking to her flesh, a dying flesh, perhaps her subconsciousness would challenge that affirmation. But because she was speaking to life itself, things began to change. She said that her physical body did not respond to those affirmations right away, but nonetheless, she continued on with the practice day in and day out. She also said that she tried the best that she could to keep any thought of that caused her to be concerned or afraid of life. She kept them away from her. She was just very, very focused on speaking words of empowerment to the life of each organ of her body. 2 years later, she was completely healed, to the point that people that knew her began to seek her out, looking for help. The first one was a neighbor from across the street. He used to have like paralysis, or he used to be like crippled. That's the word. He used to be crippled, and then she taught him not only what she have learned with the New Thought movement, but she began to pray out loud to him. She began to bless him verbally with prayer. He experienced a complete healing, and she began to become very little by little known, not only in her town, but in towns of nearby. That's how this whole movement began, with her own healing. And that's why the art of affirmative prayer is very important here at Unity. And as a matter of fact, we have this silent unity in which they pray 24/7. And if you are in need of prayer, we're going to include that number in the comments below for you to call them and experience an affirmative prayer whenever you need. And it's interesting that Joe Goldsmith, who is also a spiritual healer and a very good teacher, he used to say that the most important practice that we can do on a daily basis is to keep truth active in our consciousness, meaning that keep bringing through remembrance the truth of who you are day in and day out. And he said that through that practice, you begin to spiritualize your consciousness, and eventually it will have an impact at your subconsciousness. So the important point that I would like to mention in the life of Myrtle Fillmore is that all the prayer that she used to heal herself and other people, the foundation of them were the awareness of the truth of who she is, which we all are, and our relationship with God. That's the foundation from which the words that she spoke were able to heal not only herself, but those who were seeking help nearby. I was watching a YouTube video the other day. There is this 7-year-old kid. He has his own YouTube channel, and he decided to make an experiment. So he got 2 little plants, and he was going to provide them with the same amount of water and light throughout the months. But one of the plants, he would speak words of love, loving words. He would turn to it and say how beautiful you are, and I really appreciate you in my life. You're so beautiful, you smell so good, I love you. And to the other one, he would speak words of angry, like I hate you, you're ugly, I wish you die, I don't like you. And he did that experiment for about a month, and in the end, he put the 2 plants together to compare. And one of them was beautiful and it was growing, and the other one was withering and dying. So when he showed the end result, all of a sudden he began to cry because he realized that his own words were killing one of the plants. That's why it's very important that we become mindful of what it is that we are speaking, not only to ourselves, but to our kids, to the people around us, even to our plants and pets. So the question is, how can we focus on something good when we are faced with so much challenge? And I would like to give you an illustration here to help you out. Let's say here that this hand here represents the truth of who you are and your relationship with God. And this other hand here represents your problems, the difficulties that you are experiencing right now. If your focus of attention is in this one hand here, notice that you're not aware of this hand here. It's just like in the background. And what happens is when you are fully focused on your problems, your difficulties, you begin to expand them. That's your focus of attention, which is not a good thing. In contrast, if you begin to focus your attention on the truth of who you are and on your relationship with God, see, those problems over here, they begin to dissolve. And that's precisely how Myrtle Fillmore did. She kept her focus away from the fact that she was dying, and she really focused her attention in the truth of who she was and her relationship with God. So I'd like to encourage you to begin to, so I would like to invite you to begin to be mindful of what it is that you're speaking to yourself, and begin on a daily basis to affirm the truth. Affirm the truth of your oneness with God. Affirm the truth that you are life itself, that you are abundance itself, that greater is that which is in you than that which is in the world, that you are eternal, that you are immortal. Begin to speak out loud those truths, and your body, your subconsciousness will pick up and begin to present to you in the world outside of you things that will reflect your newborn belief. And so as we prepare to enter some time of meditation, I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes for a moment and just take a deep breath and begin to bring your attention, your awareness to your physical body as you begin to allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation, into a state of peace, into a state of presence. Just let go of the business of the day and bring your attention within, so the life that you are can begin to reveal itself to you in different ways.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay, a spiritual community located in Miami, Florida. Unity on the Bay is supported by the generosity of its community. If you'd like to make a donation or learn more about Unity on the Bay, please visit unityonthebay.org. You can also follow Unity on the Bay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for even more positive spiritual inspiration. Until next time, thanks for listening and many blessings. Namaste.